Hey everybody, Tommy Eicher here with a little review of Devinci's line of bikes for 2016. I will be talking a lot, so there is, a written description of each bike, but I'm going to be looking at the Hendrix, the Django, the Spartan, and the Wilson. So let's get started. I got to test ride 4 out of the 5. I did not get to try the Troy, unfortunately, just because it was so hot and I was burnt out by the end of the 4 bikes, and it was also my birthday. I had to get home, hang out with the family. But first things first, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to Devinci and Worldwide Cyclery for putting on this event. Worldwide Cyclery does some awesome custom work on bikes. They are located in Newbury Park. I'll throw their website in the description. Feel free to check them out. They do awesome work, super friendly staff. Yeah, so anyways, I hope this video helps. If there's, anything I can do to improve my videos, I'm going to be going to a couple more demo days, taking some more video. Please comment, let me know. I'm always trying to improve my skill and, bring you guys some better videos. Now I'm back home from college for this, summer. I'm definitely going to be pumping out some more videos. And next year, I'll definitely be having some more videos during my school semesters. But anyways, let me give you a little background of how I ride, and let's get started. It's a little bit of my riding background. I currently ride a Yeti, and I love it. I love it dearly. I'm more of a, I guess I would call myself an enduro style rider. I like to pedal. I like to get a good workout, but I also like to push it on the downs. So I'm, either call it enduro, aggressive trail riding, whatever, and then I do go to the bike park from time to time, but not too much. So anyways, the first bike I'm going to start with was the Hendrix, and that is Devinci's new plus size tire bike. I was kind of excited to ride it because I've never ridden a plus size tire bike, but yeah, it definitely was not my speed. The bike felt pretty sluggish. I had a terrible time trying to keep that back tire on the ground, and especially when coming around some fast corners or some loose spots, it was all over the place. Definitely the plus size tires helped the bike a lot during some of the fast, straightaways and stuff. They definitely did. It definitely felt a little more than 100, 10 millimeters of suspension. But overall, I would not recommend this bike for people who constantly like to send it down the trails and go pretty darn fast through corners. It's definitely a bike more for someone who's going to take it easy, who wants to ride a lot of, mild terrain throughout the whole year. Maybe take it out there in the rain and let the fat tires do some work for you. Definitely for someone who also, rides a lot of mild climbs, mild descents, if they like to do long rides and just kind of want a unique bike out on the trails. It is only a 27.5-inch tire, so it's not your cross-country tire, but definitely a fun bike just because of the plus-size tire and how soft it rode. So that's it for the Devinci Hendrix. Next bike we're going to be looking at is the Devinci Django. I rode the SX build. This bike comes with 130 millimeters of travel up front and 120 millimeters of travel in the rear. So it is essentially called their trail bike. They do not have it in a 29-inch wheel, so I would definitely call it more of a trail bike. It only comes in the 27.5-inch wheel. But this bike really impressed me. I didn't expect much from it. I thought it was going to be more of a mild riding bike. But this bike definitely could go through the corners pretty fast. It pedaled amazingly. The geometry setup was really nice for pedaling. I mean, weighing in at only 28, and a half pounds or so, I thought the bike was going to be a little squirrely coming through some fast, bumpy parts just because of the weight. But it really held its own. It descended well. Definitely a bike for the rider who's going to, be pedaling a lot. But also, they do like to kind of take it hard to the trail every once in a while, feel that wind through their hair. So a very fun bike. This is kind of a first look at the bikes that I got to ride and get to handle them for a long time, maybe a lap, 2 laps, couple miles. But there really wasn't anything in this bike that I could find that was bad. It's definitely not suited for super aggressive trail riding, but it can definitely get it done if you apply some caution. Great bike for anyone who just wants to get out in the trails, pedal, push it down some of the parts of the trail, have a good time, enjoy the ride. Actually, there is one thing that I, wish Devinci would have done with this bike, and is maybe given it a 29-inch tire, just due to the fact that it does have a lot of much shorter travel than bikes from other competitors. Overall, though, 27.5-inch wheel, 29 is not a huge difference, but it would have been cool to see a 29-inch bike in their fleet. But overall, awesome bike. Definitely recommend for a less aggressive trail rider chasing some heavy mile rides, but also wants to, feel that wind through their hair every now and then. Next bike up on our list is the Devinci Spartan, and I got to ride the SX model. This bike is defined by Devinci as their enduro bike with 165 millimeters of travel. This bike was awesome. Coming from that enduro aggressive background, I like to ride pretty hard when I get the chance, push it to the limits kind of thing. Push it to my limits at least. This bike could handle it, man. It was fast coming down the hill, and it pedaled up the hill pretty awesomely. It was definitely, not the Django when it came to pedaling, but I didn't expect it to be. I was still impressed with its pedaling power. It felt comfortable under me while I was pedaling. I wasn't bobbing everywhere. And when I got this thing to the trail and the fast parts, I had a great time with it. It soaked up, the 1 to 2 foot drops that were available at the trail. It definitely could handle, some hip jumps, and overall, I'm going to have to suggest this bike to the rider who, does his moderate climbing, does his fair share of climbing to get to his trails, but also the guy who just lets off the brakes and lets the bike go. This bike definitely carried its speed. It wanted to go fast, and it felt very comfortable going fast. With the carbon frame, it was stiff. It was, a little bit heavier. It was around 32 pounds, so climbing with it felt a little heavy, but I kind of like the extra weight going down the hill, just, because the bike overall just feels a little safer on the ground to me. I don't know, it's less weight. With the less weight, it gets a little bouncy through sections, which is fine, but definitely a little bit of a heavier built bike compared to other competitors. This bike could definitely get it done in the bike park. Most definitely. It can handle any trail you take it into. It'll definitely soak up those big old drops and those big old tabletop jumps. Overall, great bike for the rider who wants a bike that can do it all. Who, wants to take it to the bike park every now and then, but definitely, the local trail hero who just shreds hard and pushes it to the limits. So the next bike I'm going to look at and not talk a lot about is the Devinci Wilson. For those of you who know anything about a downhill bike, it's not made to pedal uphill, so I'm not going to talk about that. But it definitely did have a lot of pedaling power when you were going downhill. If you needed to, make up some speed from a slow corner or something, it had the power to do it. So I really did like that about the bike. Another thing I really liked about the bike was just how well it cornered and how well it would soak up drops. The drops that I was hitting on this trail are nothing, probably 2.5 feet at the biggest, so this thing soaked them up like it was nothing. I felt like I barely ever left the ground. Being at 38, the bike weighs 38 pounds. Definitely the bike for the park rat, whoever is going to be taking lifts and hammering hard trails and wants to go fast. This is the bike for you. This bike is definitely race ready for any person out there who's ready to start racing, get into that downhill crazy realm. Respect to all those guys, because I can't do that. Anyways, overall super fast bike. It really wanted to go fast. I couldn't keep up with its speed, but only for the rider who wants to go downhill. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, that's going to conclude it for this video. Please leave a comment if I can do something to improve next time. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. See you soon.